There is no minimum height requirement for an indoor installation of a circuit breaker distribution panel. This is a common area of confusion, as many people mistakenly believe there is a specific minimum height mandated by electrical codes. The National Electrical Code, or NEC, focuses primarily on accessibility and working clearances around electrical equipment to ensure safety for those who may need to inspect, maintain, or repair the panel. The NEC addresses working space in terms of width, depth, and height around electrical equipment. The requirements for working space are outlined in NEC Article 110.26. This article specifies the minimum clear distances required in front of electrical equipment, as well as the height and width of the working space. The depth of the working space depends on the voltage to ground and the condition of the installation. Condition 1 refers to exposed live parts on one side and grounded parts on the other side of the working space, with grounded parts effectively grounded. Condition 2 refers to exposed live parts on one side and insulated parts on the other side of the working space. Condition 3 refers to exposed live parts on both sides of the working space. The height of the working space must be at least 6.5 feet, or 2 meters, or the height of the equipment, whichever is greater. This ensures that there is adequate headroom for personnel working on the equipment. The width of the working space must be at least 30 inches, or 762 millimeters, or the width of the equipment, whichever is greater. This ensures that there is sufficient space for personnel to move around and work safely. While there isn't a specific minimum height for the panel itself from the floor, the relevant code sections emphasize maintaining clear working spaces around the equipment. This means ensuring adequate headroom and unobstructed access to the panel for maintenance and repairs. Local codes or ordinances might impose additional requirements beyond the NEC, so it's always best to consult with local electrical inspectors or authorities having jurisdiction, abbreviated as AHJ, to confirm compliance with all applicable regulations in your specific area. Although the NEC does not dictate a minimum mounting height for the panel, it is crucial to install the panel at a height that allows for safe and convenient operation of the circuit breakers. This typically means mounting the panel so that the breakers are easily accessible to the average person. Installing the panel too low could pose a tripping hazard and make it difficult to operate the breakers. Conversely, installing the panel too high could make it difficult to reach the breakers and could also pose a safety hazard. In addition to the working space requirements, the NEC also addresses the location of electrical equipment. The NEC requires that electrical equipment be located in a dry location unless it is specifically designed for wet locations. This helps to prevent electrical shock and equipment damage. The NEC also requires that electrical equipment be protected from physical damage. This can be accomplished by locating the equipment in a protected area or by providing a physical barrier around the equipment. The NEC also includes requirements for the identification of electrical equipment. The NEC requires that all electrical equipment be clearly labeled with its voltage, amperage, and other pertinent information. This helps to ensure that the equipment is used safely and correctly. The working clearance in front of electrical equipment is crucial for safety. Sufficient space allows electricians to safely access the panel for maintenance, repairs, and troubleshooting. Obstructions in this space can create hazards and impede the ability to work on the equipment safely. Headroom is also an important consideration. The NEC requires a minimum headroom clearance of 6.5 feet above the working space or the height of the equipment, whichever is greater. This ensures that electricians have adequate headroom to work comfortably and safely. When determining the best height to install a circuit breaker panel, consider the following factors. Firstly, accessibility. The panel should be installed at a height that allows easy access to the breakers for all users, including those with disabilities. Secondly, safety. The panel should be installed in a location that is free from hazards such as water or flammable materials. Thirdly, convenience. The panel should be installed in a location that is convenient to use. Fourthly, code compliance. The panel should be installed in accordance with all applicable electrical codes. Some common practices to consider include mounting the top of the panel no more than 6 feet 7 inches above the finished floor or grade, which is often considered the maximum height for accessibility. This ensures that the breakers are within reach of most individuals. Another consideration is the height of the main disconnect breaker. This breaker should be readily accessible so that power can be quickly shut off in an emergency. Again, while there is no specific minimum height, it is essential to install the panel at a height that allows for safe and convenient operation. It is also crucial to comply with all applicable electrical codes and regulations. Always consult with a qualified electrician to ensure that your electrical installation is safe and compliant. In addition to the NEC, local electrical codes may also have specific requirements for the installation of circuit breaker panels. These codes may vary from one jurisdiction to another, so it is important to check with your local electrical inspector to ensure that your installation meets all applicable requirements. Some local codes may specify a minimum height for the bottom of the panel above the finished floor. This requirement is intended to protect the panel from water damage and to make it easier to access the breakers. Other local codes may specify a maximum height for the top of the panel above the finished floor. This requirement is intended to ensure that the breakers are within reach of most individuals. When installing a circuit breaker panel, it is also important to consider the location of other electrical equipment and wiring. The panel should be located in a place where it is not likely to be damaged by other equipment or wiring. The panel should also be located in a place where it is easy to access for maintenance and repairs. Here are some additional points to consider when installing a circuit breaker panel. Firstly, ensure that the panel is properly grounded. Grounding is essential for safety and helps to protect against electrical shock. Secondly, use the correct size and type of wiring for the circuit breakers. Using the wrong size or type of wiring can create a fire hazard. Thirdly, label all of the circuit breakers clearly. This makes it easy to identify the circuits that they control. Fourthly, keep the area around the panel clear of obstructions. This allows for easy access to the panel for maintenance and repairs. Fifthly, have the installation inspected by a qualified electrician. This ensures that the installation is safe and compliant with all applicable electrical codes. Remember to always prioritize safety when working with electrical equipment. If you are not comfortable working with electricity, it is best to hire a qualified electrician to do the job. Improper electrical work can be dangerous and can lead to electrical shock, fire, or other hazards. By following these guidelines, you can ensure that your circuit breaker panel is installed safely and correctly. This will help to protect your home and family from electrical hazards. Consider these important NEC articles and sections. Article 100 Definitions. The section defines many terms used throughout the NEC, including accessible, equipment, and location. Article 110 Requirements for electrical installations. This article covers general requirements for electrical installations, including working space, guarding, and grounding. Article 240 Overcurrent protection. This article covers the requirements for overcurrent protection devices, such as circuit breakers and fuses. Article 312 Cabinets, cutouts, boxes, and meter socket enclosures. This article covers the requirements for enclosures used to house electrical equipment, such as circuit breaker panels. Article 408 Switchboards, switchgear, and panel boards. This article covers the requirements for switchboards, switchgear, and panel boards, which are used to distribute electrical power. Some additional safety tips include always turn off the power before working on electrical equipment. Use insulated tools when working with electricity. Never work on electrical equipment when you are wet or standing in water. Wear safety glasses to protect your eyes. If you are not sure how to do something, ask a qualified electrician for help. Electricity can be dangerous, so it is important to take precautions to protect yourself. By following these safety tips, you can reduce the risk of electrical shock, fire, or other hazards. Remember, the absence of a specific minimum height requirement in the NEC for indoor circuit breaker distribution panels does not diminish the importance of adhering to best practices and safety guidelines. Always prioritize safety, accessibility, and compliance with all applicable codes and regulations when installing electrical equipment. Consultation with a qualified electrician and local authorities is crucial to ensure safe and code-compliant installation.